I'm joined today with Billy Rumbol, former professional turned amateur professional coach. How are you today, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Luke. Fight week, so just bringing it down this week. Feel relaxed, having a bit of time with family. It's all good, yeah.
So, just starting at the very beginning of your career. Well, I say career, your journey. How did you get into the sport? How did you get involved, and where did it all start?
It's been a family thing, really. Like, for as long as I've been born, my dad's always run his boxing club. My brother boxed, my dad's dad boxed, so it was just something that I got brought into at a very young age. Didn't know anything else, didn't get introduced to football, ballet, it was just boxing, so I went with it, and it's just something I've always had a passion for ever since. If I'm not at a boxing show, I'm watching it on the telly. If I'm not at a show, I'm watching it on the telly. I'm in the gym, and it's just something I love, something I do every day, day in, day out. So
never fallen out of it yet. So.
No, I love it. As I say, you know, I've had a stop-start career in terms of fighting, because obviously you have to dedicate yourself 100%. And if I've never been 100%, I've never got in the ring. But if I'm not in the ring, like I say, I'm on the pads with training boxers, and I'm at a boxing show. So always been in love with the sport, no matter what, you know, what stage.
And what was your background in boxing in terms of an amateur career, going into the professionals?
Yeah, so I had 36 bouts as an amateur. As I say, a bit of a stop-start career, really. It was because I got introduced to the sport at a very young age. People tipped me to do big things, but it was hard, because by the time I could box, I was sort of bored of it. Then I'd fall back in love with it. My dad was my coach. Obviously, being a teenager, having your dad as a coach, there's a lot of argument. So, but listen, I had a good career, but I could have done better in terms of an amateur. I think I could have been on the GB setup, won a lot more national titles, but that was down to myself. I just wasn't putting the work in when I needed to. Then I sort of had 4 years out the amateur game, enjoying myself as a sort of 18, 19-year-old. Turned pro at about 21, and then had 2 professional fights and won the both of them. The reason I stopped being a pro, again, people was tipping me to do big things, but I had a full-time job as an estate agent, getting in the office at 8:30, finishing at 6, expected to train full-time, doing weight, so it was sort of hard. So I had to put the brakes on that as well. But yeah, I've had a good career, still fresh. So yeah, that's why I'm back again on Saturday night.
Back to the amateurs quickly. Why do you feel you never made the GB setup?
Just because I didn't put the work in, like. Because I had 36 fights, but like I was having a couple of seasons out, or a season out, where people were getting that more experience. And when I was coming up against those boys, I was just getting nipped to it. You know, I was getting beat on a majority decision, split decision, and they was going on to do the bigger things. And every time you get beat, even if it's a close fight or if it gets a good opponent, you sort of get a knockback, you get a bit disheartened, a bit deflated. So it was down to myself that I didn't go further. But you just kick yourself now, thinking that what could have been, and seeing the GB boys travel the world now, Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, Europeans, World Championships, and just other tournaments around the world, getting paid for it, travelling the world is something else. But you've only got yourself to blame at the end of the day, and yeah, there's no point crying over spilt milk. You just got to get on with it and make the best.
That's it, keep moving forward. So when you look back to that setup, is there any individuals that you look back on and you've seen they've had a successful career, or they've maybe not?
Pretty much all of them. Like my sort of age, you had like Anthony Fowler, you got Josh Kelly. Them sort of boys was my sort of age, and they're the boys that have made it now. You know, like Josh Kelly's turned pro, so was Anthony Fowler. Both went to the Olympic Games, travelled the world with GB, and Josh Kelly's someone I still keep in touch with now. On Instagram, through social media. So yeah, I mean, I look up to them sort of boys, and those was about when I was boxing as well, so people that I'm always keeping an eye on.
And moving on to your professional bouts, as you said, you had 2-0.
Yep.
2 4-rounders?
Yeah, 2 4-rounders. I've never been known as sort of a puncher, if you like. I can punch, but I'm not a one-punch knockout artist. I'm more known for my skills, my movement. But it's funny, because when I was boxing as a pro, I was about 9, 12, 10, 1 in terms of stone. I've come back now, and I'll be fighting on Saturday night at 11 stone. And I'm hitting a lot harder, and I'm feeling the power now. And I think obviously I'm 27 now, so I've grown into a man's body. I'm in my peak, really, so in my prime. So yeah, I'll never say never. Hopefully I can get the knockout demolition done this Saturday night. But I've always been known more for my skills than I have my power.
So in your professional debut, you actually suffered a cut in the 4th round.
I did.
Looking into Saturday, is this something that could...
It could go wrong. Listen, of course it can. I can get a cut, but I'm so experienced. Where I train boxers myself, I know not to panic over things like that. I've got a good cut man on Saturday night. I've been cut before. It may happen again. I do mark quite easy anyway, so it's just one of those things. If it happens, we'll deal with it. If it doesn't, then it's a bonus. But I'll know not to panic. I've got a good team around me. I'll let them get to work if I get cut, and I'll just go out and do my thing. Something
you was involved in, part of the Fedor Chudinov.
Yeah.
The cornerman for his fight against Frank Buglioni. What experience did you take from that, and how do you feel it could
great
benefit you in, with your own boxers or?
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. Being in a corner with Roy Jones Jr., who's an absolute legend of the game, one of the pound for pound best fighters of all time. Seeing how he sort of brought that into his corner was great. He sort of had a very laid back approach. Didn't panic, just was calm with the fighter, gave him instructions, not too many, just everything that he needed. And it's something that I've took away. I'm always looking into what people do, whether it be their pad work, the way they speak to people. I'm always trying to give that to my fighters as well. So it was a great experience for me, and something that I loved.
How did that opportunity arise?
I used to do Frank Maloney's, now Kelly Maloney's, corners for her show. As a second, and I just got noticed there really, and I got the call. I was on holiday with Zoe. We just went for a little breakdown in Devon, and I got the call on the Tuesday to see if I wanted to work the corner on the Saturday, and of course I did. We was coming home on a Friday anyway, so I just grabbed it with both hands. So I was just lucky to be in the right place at the right time really.
Boxing full time.
That's it.
Training full time.
Yep.
How do you feel that's going?
Yeah, it's going really well. I mean, a really busy gym. As I say, we have about 20 to 25 clients in a day, as well as my pro boxers, as well as the amateur boxers. So yeah, it's going really successful. I started it at the beginning of this year. Obviously, we're just approaching December, and it has been the most successful. Well, it has been the most successful year of my life. So long may I continue doing something that I love, helping people achieve their goals. It's been lovely. It's been good.
And how do you feel you've been working with the likes of Mike Madonna, Jack Eubank, Bradley Haxall, all signed up to MTK?
They're all signed to MTK. They're doing well. As I say, Bradley's now 2-0. Martin's doing really well. He's 4-0. Jack's 1-0. I've also got another pro, Neil Parry, who's with Goodwin, who's had one under me and won it. And I've got James Hawley, who's also with MTK, who's got his debut on December the 14th at York Hall. So we've got a good little stable around us now as well. Sort of success breeds success. So one of them's doing well. They all want to do well. And I'm sure they'll all get to where they want to be.
So James Hawley on December the 14th?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. Will that be done for Christmas?
Yeah, that's the camp done for Christmas now. So he's just the last one out before Christmas. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss his debut because I'm out in New York watching the Canelo fight against Rocky Fielding. But my dad will be doing his corner, and then that'll be done then until the new year.
Obviously, Martin Madonna's had a very bright year. Made his debut this year and 4-0, very active.
Yeah.
What's the plans for next year with Martin?
As I say, I say it to all my fighters, and it's a question that's frequently asked, but just take one fight at a time, Luke, step by step. We'll keep building him up. I know that his next fight will be a 6-rounder, so we'll start stepping him up in terms of rounds. We'll sit down and talk, me and the management team, when we think he's ready for titles. He's still young. He's 23, well, he's 24 now, but he's got a very young body, so he's still maturing, but he's a great fighter. I think that he can do big things if he's got guided the right way and there's no rush. We'll look at getting him to about 10-0, and then we could sit down and start talking about titles. But as I say, one fight at a time, and we'll go from there with him. Yeah,
a lot of the podcasts and the interviews you hear from, people talking about Martin Madonna, they do talk about him being very young and, not quite grown his man strength. Do you feel, give it maybe a couple more years, like how good could Martin be? Yeah, listen,
he's still growing into his body. A lot of people don't realise how hard he can hit Martin. He's actually knocked people out cold as an amateur in the senior ABA title in the quarterfinals. He's put people over as well. I think when Martin starts to step up the rounds, so going up into the 6 and 8 rounders now, I think that's when you'll see Martin start to stop opponents, because 4 rounds not a long time to get an opponent out there. It's only 12 minutes of fighting. They're sort of good at surviving anyway, the journeyman that he's fighting. So as he steps up in calibre and steps up in rounds, I believe that Martin will start sitting down on his punches more and taking the opponents out. So yeah, don't underestimate Madonna's power, because I feel it every day, and he's already knocked people out. So
that's it, and then more importantly, he's won every round. So
he's won every round. So that's the main thing.
That's the main thing. What's next for Bradley, Jack, Neil? James?
Same again, really. I mean, Bradley's done well. He come back in the gym about 83 kilo when he first come back. He's down to about 60 kilo now. So that in itself was a great achievement, let alone going 2-0 as a pro. But I promised him that before the year was out, he'd be 2-0, so I stuck to my promise, got him to where he needed to be. He's over the moon. And again, I had an interview just after Bradley's fight last weekend. I said it to that person interviewing that we'll take one step at a time. Bradley's had a lot of time out in the ring. He only had 15 bouts as an amateur, so in terms of experience, he's still inexperienced. But as I say, he's a great talent, and if he stays grounded, stays dedicated, he can get to where he wants to be as well. So,
any reason why Jack didn't have a second one before the end of the year?
I don't know if you appreciate me saying this, but he went for a hair transplant in Turkey. So sorry, Jack, if that was a secret, but it does look good. That was the only reason.
So I just want to move on to yourself now. Ahead of Saturday,
yep,
the big one back. You sold a lot of tickets.
Yeah, near enough 300.
And that's not many professionals do that. So
no,
I know
they
you've
don't.
been a professional.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're selling 300 tickets out. What sort of stead's that going to put you in for?
Yeah, it'd be great. As I say, Swallows is a good venue. It's not massive. It's big enough. So what will be good is when I'm walking out, all the crowd screaming, it'll be a good buzz, good atmosphere, get me pumped up. End of the day, boxing's a lonely sport. It's just going to be me and Marty Kays in there when the bell goes, which I've got no issues with at all. But if I need picking up, the crowd's going to be there, and I'm sure they'll pick me up if I need them to.
So you've had 5 years out of the ring now.
Yeah.
So what's influenced you in taking this opportunity with the WBU?
Just my way of life now, really. Like before, as I said, I was working full-time for an estate agent, working set hours. I now manage my own diary. So if I want to take 3 hours out a day and get my training in, I can do it. If I want to finish work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can. If I want to work later, I can. So just managing my own diary, working myself has played a massive part. When I got offered the opportunity a few months back now, we sat down, we spoke about the title, we spoke about it being 12 rounds, we spoke about the ticket deal, what money I'd be expecting to get. We're on top of Christmas, everybody wants to make a bit of money, win a title before Christmas and see the year out. It just all made sense, Luke, do you know what I mean? It was the right time, they were saying the right things, it ticked all the boxes. I would have been stupid to say no, so.
Of course. And how ready are you for this fight?
More than ready. As I say, I've lost 14 kilo now, just over 2 stone. Had some great sparring, training's been good, nutrition's been good. I've got the right runs in. I've had a running coach for this camp, which I've never had. He's been taking us out on our long runs every Sunday morning. I've just lived the life. I haven't touched a fizzy drink, not a bag of crisps, not a chocolate bar, not an alcoholic beverage. I've just lived the life how I should have done, and I feel great for it.
And have you had much influence on camp, or has it been something that your father's taken control of?
A bit of both, really. As I say, my dad's been in the game all his life, so what he doesn't know about boxing isn't worth knowing. I've sort of added bits as I've gone along, because obviously I train pro fighters myself, so I've added bits what I'd do with them. But more than anything, really, my dad's sort of set out the plans. He set out fight week this week, what we're doing. He set up the sparring, how many rounds sparring we should be doing. So yeah, ultimately he's been the governor. So
you've done everything that you've needed to do to put yourself in good stead for Saturday night?
Yeah.
Is there anything you feel that Marty Kays can offer to, ruin your night?
Listen, he's experienced, he's game, he comes to fight. I don't think there's anything that he can do that I can't do better. But listen, I've got to be switched on with him, because he's very experienced, he knows his way around the ring. And if he does sense something's wrong, I know he'll capitalise on that. So if I stick to the game plan and knowing the hard work that I've done, I don't think he can upset the night. But it's boxing, anything can happen. One thing is I'm confident. I know I've trained hard in my heart of hearts, so I'm very confident of coming out and having the belt round my waist on Saturday night.
So you previously mentioned in the press conference that weight, you've never felt better. Why do you feel the weight's come off so well this time?
Just because I've lived a life. Like, I haven't cheated. A lot of fighters out there say they're living a life, but sometimes the results say a different story. Every week in camp, since I've been in full camp, my weight has come down. There's been no cheat meals. There's no, as I say, no fizzy drinks. I know that I've had to live the life because Saturday night, it's a 12-round fight. I've never boxed 12 rounds, so I know that everything I've done in this camp, I've trained for 12 rounds. I've had to eat the right foods because I've got 300 people coming to see me box on Saturday, and if I get out that ring and I haven't won, it's a lot of pressure on me. There's a lot of people there, so I've got to make sure that everything goes to plan on Saturday, and that's all started with having a good camp. So I know by having a good camp and eating the right foods is going to stand me instead on Saturday night of putting on a good performance.
So you had 4 years out the first time for your first debut, professional debut that is, and now you've had 5 years out. How do you feel this is it going to benefit? Is it going to affect your performance? Maybe a bit of ring rust?
I just feel fresh. There's no sign of ring rust. As I say, I've done a lot of rounds of sparring. I've been sparring since June, right up until last week. So yeah, no sign of ring rust. I just feel fresher. I feel that I'll be a lot fresher than Marty K's. I'm a lot younger. I think speed will play a massive part, if I'm honest, in the fight. Although at the press conference I was playing that down a bit. But yeah, I just think that I'll be so much fresher on Saturday night, and yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, no, good. We've all seen how active you are on Instagram. We all see how busy you are with clients. As you said, you train 5 professionals. You've got the youngsters, the juniors. Do you feel this could play any part of? You said camp's gone well, but has this disrupted camp at all? Or? No,
listen, I've had the right amount of time out of the gym that I needed. I haven't been in the gym all of last week. I've been doing my sessions. Martin's been running my one-to-ones for me. I haven't been down with the amateurs. After I've been training, I've been coming home, chilling with my family. This week it will be the same. I've been spending a lot of time with the family, just chilling out once my training's done, and manage things the way that they should have been managed, to be honest. So no, if I've needed time out to spar, if I've needed time out to train, to run, that's been managed on my diary. I haven't let anything get in the way of the training. So no, 100%, everything's gone to plan, and camp couldn't have gone any better. And I promise you, genuinely believe that is the God's honest truth. I know that's cliche and everybody says I've had a good camp, but it tells you my results. You only have to see, I know you follow me on social media, but the picture I put up on Friday of what I started as to what I am now, honestly, I'm so happy with how camp's gone. It has been the best camp I've ever had.
And come Saturday night, and we hear and the new Billy Rumbol, WBU, like middleweight.
Yeah.
What's next? Where do we go?
Like I say, yeah, please God we hear that. I'm very confident that we will hear that. There's been talks about a Spanish opponent for March sort of time already, coming over from Spain, or possibly me even going out there if the money's right. So listen, let me get Marty K's out of the way. Let me put on a good performance. Let me feel good in doing so. And then we'll talk about what's next. But that has been sort of in the background. If everything goes to plan on Saturday, that could be the option, either in Spain or over here, depending on what we do. I'll be the champion, so I'll sort of get the say on where it is. It all comes down to the financial side, really. But yeah, let me get Marty K's. I don't want to overlook Marty K's. Like I say, if you start to overlook opponents, things start to go wrong. I'll get Marty K's out of the way on Saturday, and I'll have a better understanding and a better idea of what's happening. I could go in there and get an injury on Saturday, and it puts everything back anyway. I could break a hand, could get a cut, any sort of injury could happen. So I'll get him out of the way, and then we'll talk about the future.
But one thing for sure is you're not looking at a last hurrah.
I'm not looking at a last hurrah. You know, I haven't got myself in this shape for no reason. I'm feeling great. I feel so much better when I'm in this shape and when I'm fit. So I'd be mad to sort of come back, win the belt Saturday, and then sort of say I'm hanging my gloves up again, because there couldn't be a comeback again. You know, this is it now. If I pack up this time, then it's got to be for good, because you know people won't know if they're coming or going. So if I get this belt on Saturday and I win and I look good in doing so, this won't be the last hurrah.
And in terms of, could you look back and going into the professional game?
Could do. I've been offered already by certain promoters. I won't mention any names because of the tickets that I've done. They've already been talking about putting shows on for me in Kent.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. But, you know, like I say, I've got professional fighters now and I don't want to do anything to tread on their toes. So I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing. My future lies in training pro fighters. That's where I want to be. I look up to the likes of Adam Booth and, you know, etc. I'm 27 now, so realistically, if I did go back pro, I've only got a few years there anyway, and there's injuries, and the older you get, the more injuries you pick up. So I'm happy with what I'm doing. I don't think that I'll go back sort of fighting at that sort of level again. I'm happy fighting, you know, under the WBU, training my pro fighters and amateurs as well. And I think we'll leave it at that. If I was a little bit younger, if I was 22, 23, it may have been a different story, but like I say, I'm 27, 28 in August next year, so time's not on my side really. It's not really realistically. So yeah, I'll stick to what I'm doing.
Yeah, and obviously as we've mentioned, you've done a fair bit. You're 27 now, but you've been a professional. You've trained professionals. You've trained amateurs. You've got the youngsters. You've been an MC.
Yeah.
You've done a bit of promoting your own shows. The charity one. How did that go?
Yeah, done well. It was a really successful night actually. We did it for the Mind charity, mental health. Raised a good bit of money for them. We're going again on March the 23rd. The charity hasn't been named yet. I've got a meeting tomorrow at the gym with the participants just to see what charity would be of their choice. But yeah, it went really, really well. And that's something that I'd like to go down in the future as well. Promoter, manager, trainer, that sort of thing. Giving a bit back to boxing, which is always nice. Is
there any way, if anyone was interested, they could still come aboard?
Yeah, definitely. As I say, all ability is welcome, male, female, doesn't matter how much experience you've got, don't need any. Come down to the meeting tomorrow night at Rumbol's gym. Starts about 7 o'clock. We'll talk you through it. We'll sign disclaimer forms and answer any questions that you may have. If you're interested in having the fight 23rd of March, a charity, you're more than welcome.
And where can they find you? Social media?
Social media, I'm on Instagram. I'm under Ready to Rumble Fitness, which is RUMBOL. You'll find me on there. DM me, give me a follow. I'll follow you back. And if you've got any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
And is there anything else you would like to add?
Just want to say a massive thank you to Reginald Resources, who's my sponsor. Been a massive help throughout camp. He's put a lot of time and effort into me as well. He's got me my kit, my sparring set. There was a contribution that we had to pay to WBU to fight for the belt. He sorted out so much for me. So yeah, just want to say thanks to him. And also Dirty South, which is I'm now an ambassador for their company. It was quite nice actually because the other ambassadors are Ted Cheeseman, which is he's British champion, light middleweight champion. Roberto Duran Jr., which is son of Roberto Duran, the legend, the actual shorts I had my shorts based on for this fight. Brian Rose, who is won the British title outright as well. And Jason Wellborn, who's fighting for a world title Saturday night on the Fury Wilder undercard. So for me to be an ambassador with all of them guys means a lot. So check out Dirty South on Instagram. It's DRTY and then South. They got great clothing brands. They're just doing the boxing brand as well, like pads, gloves. Give them a follow. They do some great stuff. Let them know that I'll put you in touch and you'll get a good discount as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Billy, and all the best for Saturday.
Thank you, Luke. It's been a pleasure. Cheers, mate.
Nice one, mate.